Welcome to the Pointy End. I'm Keith Sutherland. Today my guest is well-known star around Bendigo, particularly this time of the year, Mr. Col Thompson, Director of the Bendigo Blues and Roots Festival. Welcome, Col.
Thanks, Keith. Star is definitely over.
No, you've got the sunnies on, so anyone that's wearing the sunnies, I know the reason why, because you're burning the candle at all ends at the moment, getting ready for this fantastic event.
Cheers.
Every year we talk about it, we say the same thing. This is the 6th year, it gets bigger and better. How do you keep doing it?
That's a good question. I think the short answer is an incredibly patient and supportive wife who this year has done as much, if not more, work administratively than myself. She's definitely done more administrative work. She doesn't get on the blower as much as I do, but the crew around us. You know, the whole thing is literally homegrown and truly grassroots. It's volunteer run. Not one of us gets paid for the effort we put in through the year to make this thing happen. You know, there's no honorariums or anything like that. It literally is just a bunch of Bendigo people putting on an event for Bendigo, for the region, and for all of our visitors, you know, to make everyone as welcome into our music and arts culture as possible.
And you've certainly put it on the map, because we know about Byron Bay Blues Festival at Easter, and we all know about Bendigo Blues and Roots Festival in November. So you've put it on the map. Again, you've got over 170 acts, 50 stages in our beautiful city, and you're showcasing lots and lots of places around Bendigo.
Yep.
And when you look at this program here, it is just amazing and absolutely action-packed and chock-full, and it's so easy to read what's going on.
Jeez.
How do you keep coming up with all these different artists? Because there is a variety. We just don't talk about blues, even that's my favourite. You've got roots, you've got all sorts of alternate music coming to this year's festival as well. How do you source them?
Well, yeah, look, getting interest from the acts is not hard. We have acts beating down the door to be a part of the festival. They recognise the brand as being of a festival and of an event and of a musical culture, I guess, locally, that is encouraging of discovery. You know, it's you know, when you look at our posters, you know, it's not about big names, you know, being headliners and then the rest being the support acts or whatever. This is about literally just quality music, quality musicians, quality people, and the punters that come to our festival and recognise our brand for what it is. They recognise the fact that they're going to make great discoveries at our festival, and we'd much rather do that. We'd much rather spend our time, resources and energy, as little as I have left right now, on shining a light on the acts that deserve a leg up. You know, the ones who, whether they've just started out or whether they've been doing it for decades, haven't got the recognition their talent and their effort deserves. So they're the guys that we like to highlight, and people recognise that, the artists recognise that, and come to us, the punters, thankfully, keep rolling in to come and hear more, which is fantastic. But the list of artists that we had to knock back, you know, is heartbreaking and massive. You know, when you look through the list of artists we would have loved to have had on board this year, that's the hardest part of the job, is telling people, sorry, we haven't got room for you this year, please reapply next year because we hope to have you next time. Amazing.
Now it starts the 3rd, Thursday the 3rd, runs through to Sunday the 6th, and lots, as I said before, venues. This year you've got something a little bit different. I know you've started to introduce ticketed events.
Yep.
You always wanted the family stuff, and that's in Roslyn Park and everything, but you've got someone that direct from USA at Saturday night at McGilvray Hall, which is the TAFE College, starting from 8 till 1 a.m, featuring Eugene Bridges, Travis Boland, and the well-known, of course, Ian Collard. Ticketed event, $49, seems terrific value. How did you get onto this particular person and from the USA? And I read some stuff on him from New Orleans, and the guy is obviously a champion of music.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Eugene Bridges, seen on this poster here, is a true throwback. You know, he comes from a fine blues tradition. You know, and yeah, we'll do a fine job of bringing New Orleans to Bendigo this weekend. He is just playing the one show at the McGilvray Hall, and yeah, $49 for what that show is going to present is amazing. is in line with the fact that we are all about making music accessible. You know, the last thing we're ever going to do is be one of those you know, commercial beasts that charges hundreds of dollars just to get your foot in the door to come and be able to enjoy any of it. We have plenty of free elements as per usual, but have had to, obviously, out of necessity, introduce some ticketed events to be able to keep the whole thing going, and to be able to keep doing more imaginative things and present things like this. Cole Bishop, who books acts for the Bridgetown Blues at Bridgetown in WA, a very long-standing and fantastic festival, and also works with Wangaratta Jazz Fest, which was on last week. He came to us about Eugene, saying, look, you know, your festival, as in ours, is situated timeline on the calendar right in between those two events. Can we offer Eugene's services? So we did a deal, and you know, would have been silly to say no, not just for the opportunity to have Eugene on the program, but to also build a relationship with those festivals who are, you know, are like-minded in a lot of ways, and who are very, very long-standing established festivals, as opposed to us who've only been going 6 years. Yeah, so and it's exciting as heck for us to work with Eugene, for us to work with Cole behind the scenes, and to be able to present something of this stature on our program this year. We're very excited to.
What a coup, because New Orleans is synonymous. People think about being jazz, and I'm lucky that I've been there 4 times, because there's lots of blues in Memphis.
Please take me next time.
And Memphis as well, so you'd love that one. In Beale Street, there was a program last night on it. But to have someone of that quality to come to Bendigo is going to be sort of, it's obviously a beginning for other things that are going to happen in the future, because you look at the headlining acts that go to Byron Bay, and then of course they were doing the same similar thing in Deniliquin. But I just think it's incredible. So full marks to yourself and the committee for being able to do that. Now, the Blues Tram, of course, is another popular event during your weekend with some great acts. And as I said, I've only just picked up your program yesterday. It took me ages to read it last night. Highlight where I'm going for the weekend. So I always ask you this question, but is there any other standout new people? I know there's your evergreens, you love them, that keep coming back, but is there any other new ones that we don't know about, that I should know about? I've read every one in the program, but there's probably some that'll go under the haywire to sort of try and get there for them.
Oh, look, the fact that we've got 60 new artists, at least, who, or performers or acts who haven't played with us previously, I think hopefully smashes the stigma. You know, some people might think, oh yeah, it's the same old acts every year, you know, absolute rubbish. Yes, we've got, like as you say, a lot of mainstays who we want to come back every year, and who our punters, you know, look forward to seeing every year. We certainly get complaints if certain acts aren't on the program.
Like your Jeff Atchison and Soul Diggers and people like that keep coming because they love Bendigo.
Well,
obviously they love you too.
They love doing the festival, they love working with us, and we love working with them. And they'll always pull a crowd. They always do a wonderful job, and they enrich, you know, Bendigo and our festival. But yeah, the 60 odd acts that are never played our festival before, we've got Kento Hayashi coming from Japan. You know, for people who go blues and roots, what's that? Or just, you know, and people who are just you know, sitting back waiting for something to jump up and bite them and get their interest going. Come and see Kento Hayashi. You know, this guy from Japan who's just an amazing guitarist and an incredible character. And you know, we're excited about having him on the program, as we are so many other great acts. Ian Collard has played with us before as part of Collard Greens and Gravy, you know, one of the mainstay acts on the blues scene of the last 20 years, who tragically lost James Bridges this year, their guitarist. But Ian Collard hasn't played solo at our festival before, and he's doing a couple of spots, including the McGillivray Hall show.
I've noticed that.
And he's the most, I don't know, I keep referring to him, I hope I don't get in trouble for doing this from other artists, you know, that we work with and such, but I refer to him as the voice of Australian blues, because he is just so genuine. You know, when you hear him open up on stage, it does take you. You know, it
resonates, doesn't it? His voice,
definitely. And it's
harmonica.
Just, so you know, guys of that quality. But you know, some of the singer-songwriters on our program who are playing with us the first time and mingling with ones who obviously have been with us before, doing things in the Visual Arts Centre. La Trobe have been kind enough this year as one of our supporters to let us use the Visual Arts Centre in View Street as one of our venues to have, you know, for the people who aren't as comfortable going to a pub, you know, because not all of us are, you know, as anti-Australian as that might seem. Yeah, the people who just want to sit and enjoy music in the silence that it deserves when it's, you know, quiet, singer-songwriter style stuff, more folky, more, you know, even bluegrass leaning, other you know, genres within that. People can get to the Visual Arts Centre, you know, pay a very small door fee and sit relaxed in a very quiet space and hear nothing but the music and possibly a pin drop somewhere in the background. The Engine Room's doing similar things for us, where they're doing a couple of shows, or hosting a couple of shows for us, of singer-songwriter type acts, not the least of which will be, you know, we've got the youth stage. One of Bill's Barber's youth stage is happening in the Engine Room again on the Friday, but we've got Throttle on the opposite end in the volume scale. Ash Davies, an absolute drumming hero of mine.
Learned from you, obviously.
Oh, yeah, sure. I used to get teased for the way I would cheer at Ashley Davies in the years gone by, when he'd play the Golden Vine with Mighty Servant or with Jeff Lang or whomever. He's putting on a show that is truly unique, that's rhythm-based, roots-based, and also has an audio-visual element. You know, there's video that goes along with what he does on the kit. And that's going to be an amazing experience, and that's on the Saturday night also of the festival. Again, you know, choosing where to be when the program is this extensive, expansive and diverse is really hard. But I hope people look at the ticketed events and don't automatically dismiss them to go off and do a free thing. You know, everything that is ticketed is affordable, more than affordable. As long as they get out there and support all the venues that are involved, whether it be this weekend, other weekends, the whole thing, we try to remind people through this festival and the exposure that we're blessed to have is that good music and good community events are on every week in Bendigo. You know, it doesn't stop. It's not all about, you know, oh, get out and make an effort when there's a big event on. Go out anytime. Every time, you know, any time that the spirit moves you, go out and see something new, experience something different, because Bendigo is full of wonderful cultural experiences all year round. Well,
Col, on that note, I've really got to say thank you so much again for appearing on the Pointy End. This is my favourite weekend in Bendigo, I've got to say. Jeez. And full accolades to you, because all these young artists like Bill Barber, we know has come to town because of you, this festival, and the culture that you've been able to create. The music scene in Bendigo has grown enormously, and now, as I said, the 6th year of this event coming up is just incredible. But to you, to your hard-working committee, all voluntary, I just think it's fantastic, and what a great asset we've got. We talk about the art gallery, we talk about other things, but this is another adjunct to all the other wonderful, wonderful things that Bendigo has got to offer. History, but this is on the map and it's continuing to grow. The only caution I say is don't keep drinking so much coffee, have some sleep, because you've done an amazing job. We can't have you falling apart in the middle of the festival. It won't happen. But it's great that you and your wife and everybody involved just do it's an amazing event for Bendigo, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because I just love it. And thank you so much for appearing on the program today.
Cheers, Keith. Thanks again for your ongoing support as per usual, and thanks to Dennis and everyone else involved at Bendigo IPTv. We can't thank everyone enough for chipping in just with any bit of attention that the festival gets and Bendigo Arts get, because it's there's so much to be enjoyed. So
it was a pity we couldn't have kept Hello Bendigo going, because we just needed that support to highlight lots of these new young kids coming through, and all due to you, all the hard work, and you brought them to us. So thank you, and as I said, good luck for the weekend. The weather's going to be fine, so keep on rocking.
Cheers. See you out amongst it.
You will.